Alright, what's going on, guys? Hope you all are having a good day. So in this video, this is going to be an ultimate guide to the brand new Black Ops Cold War Zombies map, FIREBASE Z. This map is free to play for everybody who owns Black Ops Cold War, and just like D-Machine, I'm going to give you a complete rundown of how this map works, how you can set everything up, what to do in it, and even how to get some free wonder weapons and other cool little goodies. So I think you guys are going to like this video. Now, before we get started, I am going to be giving 2 copies away of Black Ops Cold War for anybody who doesn't own it. All you need to do to enter the giveaway is drop a like on the video and make sure that you are subscribed if you're new to the channel, and please let me know down below in the comment section what platform you play on. But anyways, today is going to be a ultimate guide on how to set up the map in FIREBASE Z and how you can get everything you can right now. Everything that is related to the main quest is going to be saved for a separate video. I will have an Easter egg tutorial coming up for you guys when that does come out and get solved, but for now this is going to show you how to set up everything in the map and some other tips and tricks that will make your experience a lot easier in FIREBASE Z. So we're going to take this nice and slow, and it should be pretty easy to follow along. You're going to spawn in the courtyard, exactly where I am now. And really the only things you can do around here is get comfortable, get familiar with yourself, and then go and talk to Captain Ravenov over here as well. He's going to set up the basic premise of the map and what's going on here, but you can't really interact with anything. What you may notice is obviously the Pack-a-Punch machine is there. There is a Wonderfizz machine to the room on the left, and all of these other doors and gates are locked, but you can see they will be opened assuming you turn on the power, and we can go ahead and do that in just a second. If you're playing solo, I'm going to recommend you stay in this room until about maybe round 5 or 6. If you're playing with a team, you can maybe go into the main map at about 4, but assuming you have enough points and you're ready to go, you can buy the door just next to Quick Revive, head up the stairs, and get near the teleporter. This is going to bring you to the main hub. Again, you can prepare as much as you like in this main area. There's no downside to it, and there's no race against the clock, so you come in here whenever you're ready. Once you arrive in the main part of the map, you're going to notice that it splits off into 3 different sections, and you also have the trial machine right when you spawn in, so this is going to be useful later. We'll come back to this in a second, just remember where it's at. But you now have a couple of different routes of where you can take your game as far as the progression and how you want to turn on the power. Ultimately, at the end of the day, you're going to be doing the exact same thing, and that is enabling all of the ether reactors. So I'm just going to show you the route that I happen to take in my game, and if you happen to get lost at all, there are purple arrows around the map that will help guide you towards the correct station that you're going to. Now, for each ether reactor, there is a little bit of randomness involved in each one, so you're going to start the ether reactor in the middle here, and this is going to get going. Now, there's going to be 2 or 3 nodes around the map or in the particular area that you're in that will need to be defended. Zombies are going to attack it, and it will take damage. You don't want to let it take too much, otherwise it will shut down, so you just want to defend it as best as you can. And again, so there's 3 or 4 nodes depending on the section you're in. So obviously with a team, if you got your boys, it's pretty easy. You know, 2 people can hold down 1 or vice versa. And if you're playing solo, it's a little bit different, and you may have a situation where some of the nodes are out of line of sight for one another, so you need to run back and forth between the 2. But I've honestly noticed it's not really a problem because they really don't take damage very quickly at all, and you have to be physically trying to let those fail. But once you got that first one done, you can head over to the military command, and just behind this building is going to be another ether reactor. Yes, once again, exact same concept. 2 of the 3 nodes will light up that need to be defended. You do the exact same thing, kill zombies, don't let it take too much damage. I should also note that you can turn on these ether reactors in any order you want. I'm simply showing you the route I went in my game. You don't have to necessarily follow that path if you don't want to. However, if you would like to do exactly what I'm doing in the gameplay, then you can do as shown on screen. However, I will say this military command one is a little bit special compared to the other 2 because as soon as you finish turning on this reactor, you will then have access to Juggernog. It is literally right behind you as soon as it enables, and I strongly suggest buying this. In this map, I've noticed that all of your perks are easiest to obtain, not individually, but rather if you do it all at once at the Wonderfizz machine back at spawn. But as far as this is concerned, I really would strongly recommend buying Jug here because you may as well, it's right in front of you, and there's really no downsides to it, and we'll get back to the spawn area in just a minute. As soon as that reactor is done, however, you can head over to the 3rd and final location, and just out of spawn is this the middle door farthest in front of you, and you need to go just past the barracks into this tall circular building. And then once you're in there, again, this is probably the hardest one to defend out of all 3, but it's only because of its verticality. However, at this point, you kind of get the idea. You do the exact same thing, turn it on, defend the 2 nodes, kill the zombies, and it's also a really good tip. The zombies don't need to be even in the map or on the ether reactor for the souls to count. You can kill zombies behind barriers and their souls will still charge into the reactors. But either way, at this point you get it, and the entire map will now be opened at your disposal. And there are basically 2 different arsenal stations that you can do. One is at the weapons lab in the main hub of the map, and then the other one will be located at spawn, the one that we showed a little bit earlier. Now at this point, once you have all of the ether reactors on, you can actually head back to the main teleporter where you came from to begin with, and this will take you back to spawn. And what you'll notice is the Pack-a-Punch machine is now available. You have unlocked Pack-a-Punch in your game, and also the Wonder Fizz will be right here waiting for you as well. And you'll notice that there is a brand new perk as opposed to the machine. Tombstone Soda will now be available for purchase in this map, so you can get all of your perks right here if you like. You of course have access to yet another arsenal station just to the left of that as well. And then if you'll notice, if you go upstairs in Peck's quarters, that this entire bedroom section is opened up. Now there's really nothing you can do in here right now. I'm going to go ahead and assume that a lot of Easter egg stuff will probably take place here, but other than that, you have pretty much access to anything you might need as far as upgrading your current guns, even getting perks, and also your armor and kill streaks. There is a crafting bench in this area as well. At this point in the game, if you want, you can go over to the trial station, which we showed earlier in the video, start doing some of those and trying to get your rewards as high up as possible. These are going to give you very beneficial things for this map, and honestly, I think are pretty much worth doing, at least right now. If you're not doing the Easter egg, there's really no reason not to run the trials, as you get really great stuff out of it. So you can start doing those for your mid-game setup, and then come around about round 14 or 15, something is going to switch up. There are no dog rounds on this map. So all of the 3 ether reactor locations which we turned on, obviously once you enable the power, then a section behind it will open up, leading you into the jungle. And it's probably not going to be this location for you every single time in your game. It can randomize between the 3, but you need to head to the area where it guides you, and you can also grab a free kill streak from the computer that it gives you, and essentially you just need to hold on from an onslaught of enemies. Now the first one is pretty straightforward. It's really not difficult at all, and its main purpose from what it looks like is to just familiarize you with the map and how these rounds work. Again, it's an onslaught of a lot of enemies, but you have kill streaks to use at your disposal as long as you and your team are set up properly. This shouldn't be a big deal, at least the first one, but they do get a little bit more hectic later on. I am going to strongly recommend having speed cola for these steps, especially if you're relying a lot on your bullet gun, as that is going to help tremendously. But when you get the assault wave done, you will be rewarded with a max ammo and a carpenter, so you don't get screwed on these every single time this happens. It's kind of like a dog round, but you'll be given a max ammo and everything you need at the end. After you've done that, at this point in your game, you're probably going to have your first encounter with the Russian Mangler, the new and improved one. And while these guys are not nearly as chungussy as the megatons in D Machine, they are still pretty tanky. It is vitally important that you get through their armor before trying to deal a lot of damage at once, because their armor nearly negates any damage coming in whatsoever. Their blast that they shoot with their cannon is not too hard to avoid, and the tracking is way less strong than it was in Garad, which thank God for that. But as soon as you break their armor, they're actually pretty easy to take out. Also, as a side note, I am going to recommend that you buy Tombstone on this map. As much of a meme as it might be, or you might not want to or think it's going to be useful, if you do happen to go down, I'll show you what it looks like. You basically spawn in as the second ghost, and you have a few seconds to run over to your body and revive yourself, very similar to how it was in Black Ops 2. And of course, with upgraded Tombstone, you get a little bit more time, and the ghost can regenerate health, all that sort of stuff, a little bit of quality of life. But I am going to recommend you pick it up, as it doesn't require you to burn a self-revive if you do happen to die. Now, next, I'm going to show you guys how to get the free Ray K Wonder Weapon as well. You may as well do this in your game while you're setting up. There's no harm in doing it. Now, inside of the weapons lab, there is going to be a Ray K blueprint just sat up there on the wall. Very easy to spot, and you can pick it up just to begin this part of the quest. Now, upon picking this up, then you're going to want to make some points and then open up your way, if you've not done already, to the back of the map. Assuming you've opened all the ether reactors, you should be able to walk past just the barracks and then go over to the scorched defense part of the map all the way in the very back. Now, there is going to be a zombie that you're looking for, and you're going to need to get his eyeball as stated in the intel. The zombie is going to be located just like sitting here on this tank, and then you're going to get this really sick animation that plays out where you literally extract the eyeball that you need for the Wonder Weapon, and it's a really cinematic moment. It's really, really cool. Keep in mind, at this time, you don't need to worry about getting hit by zombies. They'll ignore you while the sequence is playing out, so no worries there. Just enjoy the little cutscene while it plays out, get the eyeball, and then you should also be given some intel as well upon doing that. Now, take that back over to the weapons lab where we were just a second ago, and then you're going to need to place the eyeball inside of the retina scanner just by the computer that says, "Prove you are me." The computer is going to do a little scanny thing on the eyeball. That sequence is finally done playing out. The desk will open below you, revealing a locker key. Just go ahead and take that locker key, and then we can head back over to the barracks, pretty near where we were earlier, actually obtaining the eyeball itself. But there's a set of 2 barracks that are literally right across from each other, and they all have lockers inside them. There's 6 in the first one, I believe, and 4 in the second one, if I'm not mistaken. But all you need to do is, once you have the keys, just literally go and open all these lockers. Just interact with them once, and then sometimes it might give you goodies out of it. You might get intel or something. I'm not really sure what these are all supposed to contain, if at all, but you just need to make sure all the lockers are open. Now, keep in mind, during this time, you probably will get some mimic spawns as you're opening up these lockers, but once you have the barracks lockers open, just right across from each other, then you just need to start killing mimics, and one of them eventually will drop you the barrel piece to the wonder weapon. Now, don't panic if the first one you kill after opening the lockers does not have the piece. Do like 2 or 3 if it's still not giving it to you, and you should be able to acquire that part. I'm also going to strongly suggest that you wait until the end of a round to do this step, because if you try to kill these mimics or even open these lockers mid-round, there's a very, very high probability that you could get cornered and die. So it's going to be my utmost recommendation that you do this when you're at the most clear point in the game possible. But as soon as you got that next part from the mimic, go back over to the weapons lab once again, and now you're going to need to interact with the computer. Now, a lot of people have been making this step a lot more difficult than it needs to be, but as soon as you begin the sequence on the computer, there are sections that will light up across this dial. Now, what you need to do is just listen for it. You're going to want to pay attention to your audio, and as the dial goes around, it's going to stop on one section for a moment, and it's going to make a different noise. Remember what that looks like, remember the color of it, and remember what section is. This is really not too hard as soon as you understand how it works. So in my game right here, it stopped, it's on white, and it made the noise. So I know that's 1. It's going to move again over to the right. It stopped there on white again, and that's 2, and then it went all the way back around and then stopped on 3 on the dark end. And so once you've memorized all of those, you just need to simply input those 3 sequences on this dartboard over here in the spawn area right by the Wonderfizz machine. It's actually really easy. It's been made a lot more complicated than it sounds. But once you got your sequence of these sections of black and white that you can apply to inputs on the dartboard, it's going to be the outer section, by the way. You're going to input that, shoot the bullseye, and then that will reveal, it will open up and revealed to you your next part, and this will be almost the final part you need to completely assemble this wonder weapon. Now, the final part you're going to need, you will need a Russian Mangler to spawn in for this one, so again, at least round 15 or so. That's why I recommend maybe starting on these steps a little bit earlier if you can. But once you get your first Russian Mangler, whenever you shoot his arm off and take him out, he is going to drop your final piece to the wonder weapon, but you cannot assemble it immediately, as this is going to require 2 round skips. You're going to need to go back over to the weapons lab, and there is like a charging station that is plugged in on a desk. You need to plug the magazine in on the desk that is located just here right by the bomb. Now, again, you need to pass 2 rounds, so in the meantime, you can grab perks or whatever. Just make sure that you are passing those. If you're doing this setup early in your game, I recommend getting all the other stuff you need to do, like hitting the box or even just obtaining all the rest of your perks, pack punching, whatever it is. In the meantime, while you're gathering points and killing zombies, then that's the perfect time to charge it. And then I'm also going to recommend, you need to be at near the end of a round, or at least in a safe spot in the game before you go and assemble it, because if you try to put it together mid-wave, it's going to be very difficult for you. Now, as far as I'm aware right now, only one wonder weapon can be assembled in this game, but other people should be able to obtain these out of the mystery box. Now, again, I could be wrong about that, or that could change, but at least if you're playing solo or maybe just with one other friend and only one of you really wants the wonder weapon, then this is the most straightforward and easy way to do it. Now, I also will say you can obtain this just from the mystery box, and then also by doing trials and then getting the, final upgrade rarity on that as well. That actually might be the easier way, but assuming you have done all these steps correctly, you should be given the Ray K wonder weapon, and we don't know if there's elementals to this yet, but it can be pack-a-punched all the way up to tier 3. Now, once you hit about round 30 to 33, you will be given another assault wave, but this one is a little bit different, and I definitely want to show you guys this because it might be a little bit surprising or tough to people who have never seen this. Now, you're going to be given what is essentially what appears to be on the surface a regular assault wave where the ether portals open up and you're going to get a load of zombies, but you will now be given the Orda, or the Elder God, literally from the machine, the one that was hinted in there and the high round Easter egg. You literally are just defending the base now from him, and straight up, it's a mini boss fight. At this point in the game, I am going to strongly recommend that you take advantage of the kill streak options that it gives you on the computer that will be located in your area where you're defending him in, because they really do some work. Not only will you need to fight the actual boss himself, but you'll also need to defend it from zombies because they're taking over as well. At least as far as the kill streaks I have used against this boss, the cruise missile seems to be particularly effective, and I'm going to strongly recommend that you actually hit the main boss with the cruise missile if possible. You're probably going to have nearly every zombie type thrown at you as well. Regular zombies, maybe a Mangler, some mimics, and potentially even hellhounds because they do spawn in this map too. And as far as the boss himself, he does have some attacks, and one of them looks like a fireball, but it's actually like a swarm of locusts. It's really, really cool. It doesn't do a lot of damage to you, but it is quite distracting. Regardless, if you and your team are doing enough damage very quickly, then you should have no problem dealing with this mini-boss. He looks really, really scary, and honestly, some of his attacks might catch you by surprise, but he's really fun to fight against, and then once you actually take him out, you are given one of the maybe coolest death animation sequences Zombies has ever seen, and just the fact that this was a mini-boss fight just held within this map, this is not even the main boss, is honestly props to Treyarch for this one, and I just want to really point that out. It's an absolutely insane sequence. And once again, once you arrive at this point in the game, you are now free to do with it what you will. You can survive as long as you want to and go for high rounds. You can exfil if you like when you are ready to, leave the game. And exfilling is quite easy in this map as opposed to D Machine. You don't have the chungussy enemies to fight against that might end up stalling your, exfil. But this one's pretty simple to do. Even if you have the Ray K assault rifle, then it should be no problem. It's pretty light work. But overall, this has been the ultimate guide to FIREBASE Z. I really hope you guys did enjoy. And again, this was none Easter egg related stuff. I'm going to have a completely separate guide for that. So make sure to subscribe and stick around if you have not done already. But make sure to drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it or if it helped out at all. And I highly recommend jumping into this map and playing it. It's a lot of fun, and I think y'all are going to really, really enjoy it. So anyways, let me know what you think about it down below in the comment section. But go enjoy FIREBASE Z, and let me know if you have any further questions that you would like me to cover in future videos, as I will have a lot more content on this channel. I'm also going to be hunting the main quest on Twitch. Links in the description down below if you want to come watch and say hello. But other than that, guys, hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next stream or the next video. Take it easy, and peace out.